welcome to our Yamdu demo project Love at Sunset Part 2. Today we're going to have a look at the shooting schedule features of Yamdu. So we look for shooting schedule here in the navigation bar on the left side, click on the icon, and we are in the shooting scheduling feature. So as always in Yamdu, if you want to create a scenario, you can click on the plus sign, and let's call this schedule number 1. So we can link the shooting schedule with a production scheduling scenario so that the shooting periods are linked to each other, but we don't want to do this right now, so we will just click create without clicking on that. And now we have schedule number 1. So as always in Yamdu, you can see that this draft can only be seen by your department. I'm a member of the production department, so only my department can see it. So if I want to share with other departments, I have to click publish draft for everyone, but I will do this later on. So first I want to point out that you can also import a shooting schedule. You can import files from Movie Magic Scheduling or Fussel Check if you wanted to with these offline tools. It's no problem, just upload the file and Yamdu will scan it, import it, and Yamdu will show you if you have different versions or updates of your schedules, if there's changes in scenes, whether there's merging scenes or sets and characters need to be merged. So this is a very nice way of doing things if your first AD wants to work with the tools he or she is used to. But in this case, we want to do the scheduling with Yamdu. So we click on our schedule number 1. So as you can see, we can create a shooting phase here. We have only one shooting day so far. We can set a start date. So let's say we want to shoot in August. We can say August the 1st. And that's our first shooting day. And per default, we already have a shooting day. But as you can see, we have no scenes. So we need to go up here and see, yeah, we have no scenes here either. So the first thing we need to do is get some scenes. But the first thing I will do is save this information so we keep the date and everything here in the shooting scheduling. So now we go to breakdown. When we work with scripted content, we can create scenes. And we can also use shots for scenes later if we want to. But if you have non-scripted content, you can use shots only. So in this case, let's say we have a script. So we can even import to get to our scenes even faster. So if we go to import script, we can click on select from script object. And we can choose from final draft or PDF. Let's choose the PDF. So then we can click on next. So now Yamdu is analyzing the file, and since we do not have any scenes, Yamdu has found 6 new scenes. They're added from scratch. The same with the 5 sets, because the sets have not been made existing yet. But we have already added 3 characters, so you can see here that 4 have been found, but there's only 1 new character who needs to be added. So this is perfect. We do not want to edit the linking and the names right now because we can trust that it will be fine. So we do not want to remove characters from existing scenes either because we don't have any, but that's a nice tool if you have different versions of scripts in your import. So here you can just click save, and then your script has been imported successfully. So these are all the scenes, the short script of Love at Sunset Part 2. So if we click on scene number 1, we can see that we have the information, we have the director's line, the description, and if we want to, we can edit any of these details. So we can go in here and get rid of this and change it to maybe James and Fareed discuss their plans. Okay, so we can do this very, very simply. And let's say it's the script day number 1, script page is okay, the number of script pages have been scanned automatically by Yamdu, and if we want, we can change things like estimated time. Say it's 1 minute and 5 seconds. We can also set up a schedule time however we want, and it's part of the first unit. All of this is good. The set in the environment is okay. So we can click on Done. So Yamdu has already seen that we have 2 actors suggested for these roles, and since they've both been cast, Jimmy and Ben have been added as James and Fareed. So this can be the same for a lot of other information. It is always linked to a specific scene or specific scenes. So we don't want to mess around with the breakdowns anymore. That's a different tutorial. We just wanted to put some scenes to start with in our shooting schedule. So we go back to shooting schedule, we go to our draft, and now you can see that the scenes have been added on the right hand side. So to get started, when you have a lot of scenes, you can sort by set, you can sort by roles. Let's say we click sort by sets, and now they're arranged by sets. You can also do this by roles and see which characters are in which scenes, but in this case let's just stick to sorted by ID because it's such a short script, and use it like this. So we already have a first day of shooting here, August 1st. So now what we want to do is add some scenes, and we just need to drag and drop the scenes. Like scene number 1, we can drag and drop into the field here of shooting day, and it becomes an active shooting day now, and it's filled with all the information of the first shooting day, the estimated time, the script pages, and scheduled time, if it existed, would be here. So we can also click the drop down menu here and see some more details, and we can edit this scene if we want to make some quick changes during our scheduling, but we can do that some other time. So right now that's enough for our first day of shooting, or maybe it isn't. Let's say we're going to add another scene. Okay, so we have these 2 scenes. Okay, you can again just drag and drop. You can also click Control or Command on Apple and drag many scenes at once. You can choose a number of scenes and drag them together into your shooting day. So now we have 3 6/8 pages. That's quite a lot. That's probably enough for one day. So we're going to need another shooting day. So all we need to do is go up here, choose shooting day, and drag and drop. Okay, so now we've added another shooting day, and we can move the remaining scenes to the shooting day. So let's say we also need to add a travel day. Again, you can just drag and drop to wherever you need to put this travel day. And you can enter a note if necessary. So we can say the entire crew travels to Italy, for example. Okay, so you can add any important information here. And for the second part of shooting, we have to move the company. So we add travel day and we add a note about what's happening. You can also add, if you like, a rehearsal day. So maybe before you start shooting, you decide you want to have a rehearsal day, make sure everyone is fresh, they know their lines, and you can create a little note then saying rehearsal with leading cast and on the ship. So if you want to do some tests, whatever, it's good to create a rehearsal day for everything. So when you have everything that you want, you can just click save here, and then everything is saved. But if you try and leave without saving, you will get a prompt asking you to save. So Yamdu will always make sure you don't lose any important information. We can also move scenes together here and there. And if I do this, you see it turns red here. That's because there is a conflict. And if I click, I can see there is an off period for the actor Sarah McLean at this date. Okay, so one of my actors has an off period now. She can't do the scene. So I can say, okay, that's fine. I can move it to a different day if that makes more sense. But we can also have a look at what's actually going on. So we can click on save, and now let's have a look at casting. So we click on Sarah to see what exactly is happening here, and let's have a look at her off periods. Okay, so Sarah is on a press junket for the whole day, so there's nothing we can do about that. There's no way around it. So she's working with another production company. We can't really ask for too much cooperation. We can go back to shooting schedule now, and since we don't have any other choice with Sarah, all we have to do is move the scenes back to our first day. So if there's a conflict, Yamdu will let you know about it. You won't miss out on anything. You'll stay up to date with the important information. So it's a long day of shooting. The next day is not so long, but this is just for an example of how you can do this in Yamdu. So as your schedule gets larger and larger, maybe you want to search in Yamdu, and we have a search field here that makes it very easy to search for different things. So let's say our character James, we want to have a look and see what he's in. When we type him in, we can see that he is highlighted. All of the scenes he is in are highlighted, and you get a very quick overview of how many scenes he's in. And that then you can see what's important here, if it's special effects, if there's something related to this character that you have to keep track of. So this is really, really useful. So we can change our browser here to get an overview of, how this will look. But when it comes to your shooting scheduling, you can always create PDFs if you would like to. You can also add comments related to the shooting schedule. And so if I want to tag, for instance, Natalie Farmer, then I can write a quick comment to her. What do you think about this first draft, for example? Okay, so we can have discussions about shooting scheduling in shooting scheduling. So right where the information is where you're having this conversation. And she will get a notification that she has been tagged. So you can also, if you like, create a note here in the shooting schedule and just say, this is draft number 1, this isn't written in stone, and then you can just let people know what's exactly happening here. So we save things again, and now when we go back to the shooting schedule homepage, you see that this is still not an active schedule. This can only be seen by my department. So maybe we want to make this an active schedule, an active scenario, and let other departments see this information. So you have time to edit everything. You can just take your time to make sure everything is correct before you share it with everybody else. So if I want, I can also create a copy of this schedule, and then I can play around as I want. Okay, if I think maybe I can change things, see how it looks, and I'm not under any pressure to publish it, I can work in my own time and schedule it and publish it when it is ready. So let's say schedule 1 is perfect, it's everything I need. I can make it an active scenario with one click, and if I wanted to mark the copy of schedule 1, for example, as an active scenario, I can also do that with one click, but only one schedule can ever be an active scenario. So schedule number 1 is now my active scenario. It's highlighted with the project color, and let's have a look here in our casting area. And now we have additional information that we didn't have before related to the shooting schedule. For example, we can see the shooting days, and if we click into a character, let's say we have a look at James, who's played by Jimmy Woodley, we have all of the information in one place. We can click on day out of days, and we have all of the day out of days information according to our current active schedule. So, of course, if we are in a serialized production, we will also have information about each episode. But in this case, where it's a movie, so we have the scenes and the days out of days, shooting days. Okay, you see other information about character costumes if necessary. But we go back to James and we can see here his specific days, day out of days, and all the scenes he is involved in, his first shooting day, his last shooting day. and a list of all of his shooting days listed according to the current active schedule. So you can play around a bit with the Yamdu scheduling tool. It's pretty easy to use and very intuitive, and then you can follow some other tutorials to see how this relates to other things like call sheets. That's it for now. Goodbye.